Hi there, I'm Rosslyn, and today I'm out in my garden to begin a new Transformers gamebook Let's Play series. I am going to do a full playthrough of The Transformers, Peril from the Stars, by Dave Morris. This is a Young Corgi adventure gamebook. It was... Well, I mean, it was copyrighted and published in 1985, so written about then or a bit before, I'd think. We get a wee bit of blurb at the start. Just to explain, this is an adventure story, but it's not like most other adventure stories. There is one big difference. You are the main character. Because this would have been quite new and exciting in those days. It's quite exciting nowadays. But would have really been new then in 1985, yeah. What happens in the story depends on your decisions. The fate of the Transformers, whether the valiant Jazz will prevail, or whether the evil schemes of Starscream will defeat him. This is in your hands. Do not read the pages of this adventure in numerical order as you would an ordinary book. You should start at page 1, of course, but where you go from there will depend on what you choose to do. Prepare yourself to meet the Transformers. So here I go to page 1. Your uncle and aunt are astronomers. But not the sort of astronomers who just sit around calculating things. They are much more adventurous than that, and are always travelling to exotic corners of the globe to watch distant nebulae through some of the world's most powerful telescopes. That does sound quite cool. Presently they are staying at the secluded Los Palmos Observatory, high up in the mountains. You are lucky enough to be able to visit them there for a week, and you are looking forward to quite an unusual holiday. Uncle Jack picks you up at the airport, and you begin the long drive up into the mountains. Uncle Jack seems to be absorbed with some problem or other, for he is puffing furiously at his pipe, as he often does when he is thinking hard. After a while you stop at a petrol station, and Uncle Jack has just gone inside to pay the attendant when you see a brilliant flare of red light in the sky. If you tell Uncle Jack about the light, well, I can do that if I want. But I can also decide to keep quiet about what I saw. Well, so he's just absorbed, he's not seen it at all. I've got no reason not to tell him though, do I? I'll tell him about the light. Sure, let's come in on this, it's quite interesting. Ooh, a look of alarm appears on your uncle's face as you describe what you saw. This is the other thing, he might be able to give us a scoop on it. You are not really sure that he would believe you, but he seems to be taking it all very seriously. He is very worried that your aunt may be in danger. What accent will I give him? Just a Scottish one. We'll just give everybody Scottish accents for this. Oh, I'm going on up to the observatory, he tells you as he jumps back into the car. Oh, you'd better stay here for now. And I'll come back and get you when I've checked things out up there. Uncle Jack calls out to Olaf, the big man who runs the petrol station, to take care of you for an hour or so. Oh, I'll just give everybody random accents. I should really have brought a bit of paper so as I could write it down to help keep track. I'll try and remember. Gave my uncle a nice gruff Scottish accent. I'm going to give Olaf, the big man who runs the petrol station, he's just going to get like a mobster accent, right? Uncle Jack calls out Olaf, the big man who runs the petrol station, to take care of you for an hour or so. Sure thing, Dr. Richards, replies Olaf, wiping his hands on an oil rag. The kid'll be safe here. You watch your uncle drive off. Olaf tells you not to worry. Kid, you probably just saw an electrical storm or something, he says, but you know that Uncle Jack thought it was more than that. Olaf gets you a Coke from the fridge, and then goes off to do some repairs to his truck. So I can politely wait here as my uncle has asked me to do. It doesn't say politely, I just think it sounds quite civilised and polite, I think. Or else I can sneak off and start walking up to the observatory. Don't know. I'm having a relaxing time sitting in the sun. Maybe I'll just have my character politely wait and see what happens. Hours pass, so it's just going to let me. The afternoon sun is hot, and after a while, Olaf gives up the work on his truck and comes out to doze on the porch. We're all just kind of be arsed the adventure, just snoozing in the sun. Fair enough. You hear a car approaching from further down the valley, and you run out to see who is coming. You're astonished to see a sleek white Porsche drawing up. Why are you astonished? Because it has no driver. Picture of it. Doesn't he say who's done the pictures of it? But I think it looks like, from looking at some of these, I don't actually know. I think they're similar to the illustrations done by the guy who did the Fighting Fantasy book, Robot Commando. Just look at this one, for example. It's similar. Anyway, I don't know if it's him, because there's no artist credit. Annoys me that. I wish I knew. But anyway. Right, so I've got two options. Oh my god, I can either wake up Olaf, because I think that's best, or just get in the weird car. Well, I appear to be doing the super cautious playthrough, so I'll wake up Olaf. We're being boring this time, sorry. Right. Olaf is slumped in his chair snoozing. You grab his arm and shake him, but he is such a sound sleeper that he just snores all the louder. Seeing that you can't wake him, you abandon the attempt. Oh, you could never make him believe that a car drove here with no one at the wheel anyway. You're not sure that you believe it yourself. You go over and take another look. Your astonishment grows even more when, a few moments later, a voice comes from the car. Oh, I don't know what voice to give it. Is this one of the Transformers? The sleek Porsche, did it say? I don't know what kind of voice to give it. A robotic one, probably, eh? Give it a fancy robotic one, because it's quite a fancy sounding car. Better get in, kid. Things are gonna be hotting up around here pretty soon. Okay, that's it, you call out angrily. I know there's someone in there. This is a lousy joke if you ask me. Joke? This is no joke, says the voice again. I don't imagine there's anyone hiding inside you, so why should you suppose there's anyone inside me? Come on, open the door and take a look for yourself. You reach out and open the car door. Sure enough, there's no one inside. Really, you better hurry. We may not have much time. The voice comes from a microphone set into the dashboard. You realise that the car itself is alive and talking to you. Right, I'm abandoning my cautious play. We're going YOLO now. You look like a fish with your mouth gaping, says the car. Hurry, hurry, hurry. You can be astonished once we're on our way. Knowing the urgency in the voice, you climb in. As soon as you close the door, the car starts of its own accord and sets off on the winding road that leads to the observatory. Want some jive while we drive? Asks the car. Before you can reply, concealed stereo speakers launch into a swinging rhythm. Would you mind telling me who you are? You yell, struggling to make yourself heard above the music. The volume drops to a more comfortable level. Sorry, I didn't mean to deafen you. I'm Jazz, one of the Transformers. Oh, it is a good guy, so one of the Transformers, nice. I'm on a special mission for Optimus Prime. So are you now, in a matter of speaking. You're about to pour out a torrent of questions when the great dome of the observatory comes into view, looming high on a crag ahead. Uncle Jack's car is stationary in the middle of the road. The door is open and you can see no sign of your uncle. Do I ask Jazz to pull up here, or do I urge him to carry on to the observatory? I see. So we're headed there, but Get a wee drink first, hang on. Right, so we've come across Jack's car. Looks like he's run into trouble. I do think we should pull up here. See what's going on. Oh gosh. Some kind of fly has fallen into my squash. Rescued it. There you go. You can just stay there and dry off. Hopefully get a bit of sun before it goes down. Poor wee thing. Oh yeah, right. I've asked Jazz to pull over because we've seen my uncle's car. Hey, wait! You yell suddenly. Something's wrong here. That's my uncle's car. Jazz screeches to a halt just a few metres short of your uncle's abandoned car. Could be a trap, he agrees. I better scan the area. Coloured lights wink on the dashboard as Jazz's sensors play across your surroundings. Ah, yes, remarks Jazz suddenly. It's a good thing you stopped me when you did. We were about to drive straight into a null field. That must be what stopped your uncle's car. You're about to ask Jazz what a null field is, but you decide you probably wouldn't understand the answer. The door opens next to you. You'll have to get out now. I must shield my circuits from the null field. And for that I must get changed. Changed into what? You ask, as you get out of the car. When you look back at Jazz, you can hardly believe your own eyes. At first, it looks as though he is rearing up on his back wheels. Then a robotic head appears from the hood of the Porsche, and mighty arms unfold from his sides. Oh, is this him? Looking like a badass on the front, probably, eh? Nice one. So we've got whole transformation. Right, he's rearing up on his back wheels, his robotic head appears from the hood of the Porsche, and mighty arms unfold from his sides. In moments he has become a mighty robot warrior, standing on the dusty mountain road beside you. This is my true form, Jazz explains as he stoops to examine the abandoned car. We Autobots, like the evil Decepticons, possess the ability to disguise ourselves as Earth-type machines. Luckily, he adds, my own Earth mode is one of the most stylish. Your uncle is not in the car, or anywhere nearby. You assume that he went on to the observatory on foot, when the mysterious null field immobilised his car. Jazz has come to the same conclusion. Perhaps you should wait here, he suggests, while I investigate the observatory. So I can go along with the plan. Sounds a bit boring. Or I can insist on accompanying Jazz. Oh yeah, I want in on this. I'm going with him. What is this? Hanging about. Nah. Jazz seems almost to shrug his armoured shoulders. Very well, he says. It's up to you, but make sure you stay near me. He reveals a bizarre rifle that shimmers in the bright sunlight. This must be him transformed, eh? Very cool. Okay. What could have caused the null field, you ask as you plod along the road to the observatory? I cannot be sure, Jazz replies, but I have a nasty suspicion that it has something to do with a very powerful foe of mine. Still, perhaps I am just being too cautious. It may be nothing so serious after all. Something catches your eye. A furtive movement behind a nearby boulder. Jazz is preoccupied with keeping his sensors shielded from the null field and doesn't notice anything until you point it out. I see. So, do I want Jazz to blast the boulder with his photon rifle? This seems a bit extreme to me, but okay. You can do that if you want. Or you can wait to see who or what is behind the boulder. I mean, it could just be a lizard or anything. Let's see what's there, shall we? Just as you draw level with the boulder, Uncle Jack, well, yeah, you don't want to zap it then, do you? Uncle Jack steps out from behind it and stands in the road ahead of you. He has a revolver in his hand. Okay, robot, he says to Jazz. Better let the youngster go, He waves the gun menacingly. To use an Earth expression, you have got hold of the wrong end of the stick, Jazz replies. The youngster is my friend, not my captive. You're moving towards Uncle Jack. He sees that you are safe and begins to level the revolver at Jazz. He is not sure whether to trust the robot or not. Suddenly a determined look appears on his face and you're sure he's about to fire. If you knock his arm aside to spoil his aim, you can do that. Well, I don't know what he's aiming at. It might be something behind Jazz, you know what I mean? I can stand by and let him shoot. I'm going to trust him on this one. I don't think he's trying to shoot Jazz, maybe. Well, yeah. Probably wouldn't damage him anyway, you know what I mean? Right, yeah, you've already guessed that it would take more than a simple handgun to damage Jazz with his powerful armor plating. It says planting. I think they fucked up their spelling. Armor planting. Plating is, of course, spelled Plating. Doesn't have a silent N at all. And before I get back on a track, I'll also say, if anybody would like to hire me on the cheap for a very affordable price, I'm happy to do your proofreading. As you can see, I'm very good at it. And back to the story. Hashtag self-promotion. My proofreading ain't gonna promote itself. Anyway, so Jazz and his lovely, powerful armor planting is not going to be damaged by a handgun. I have established I was correct, it says. There is a metallic clang. Oh, he is trying to shoot Jazz. Rude. Anyway, there's a metallic clang as the bullet ricochets off the Autobot, but his gleaming paintwork isn't even scratched. Suddenly, Uncle Jack moans and falls down in the road. You turn to see that the bullet grazed his forehead when it rebounded off Jazz. Dude fucked around is now finding out. Can I just say there was no need to be shooting Jazz? Anyway, both you and Jazz are by his side in a moment. Yeah, we're good people. He does need our aid now. We don't want him bleeding out, even though he is a bit of a bell end. You know what I mean? Let's make sure he's safe. He's unconscious. Oh, mate. Fortunately, not badly hurt. Well, Jazz easily lifts your uncle in his mighty arms. Lessons have been learned, I think. I would hope he doesn't do this again. Oh, Uncle. He was just scared, eh? What a shame he's got so hurt. Right, so he's lifting up my uncle in his mighty arms, and we're setting off towards the observatory once more. As you approach, a slender figure emerges from the doorway and hurries towards you. Oh, you soon see that it's your Aunt Sue. She's going to be well worried. She's not even going to know what's going on. We've got this big robot, this guy wounded in the head. Oh, man. Yeah. What happened to Jack? She cries out breathlessly. After a brief glance at Jazz, she turns to you. He went out to find you. Are you all right? May I interrupt? Says Jazz. Your husband is not badly damaged, ma'am. Just a slight accident. I believe we should get him into the shade. I know you Earth people find heat uncomfortable. Jazz lumbers up to the observatory and stoops to get through the door. You and your aunt quickly follow him inside. Oh, here we are. Gently carrying my just slightly imprudent uncle there. Carrying him through the door. Jazz places your uncle's unconscious body on a couch. For all his great strength and fearsome weaponry, you notice that the giant robot is very gentle. Looking pale and drawn, your aunt scurries away and returns shortly with a damp cloth which she places on Uncle Jack's forehead. Only when she has cleaned and finished dressing his wound does she turn to you and Jazz. I don't understand what's going on around here, she says. First of all, the electrical equipment goes haywire, then a robot turns up on the doorstep. Jazz bows. I have neglected to introduce myself. I am Jazz, Special Operative for the heroic Autobots. As for my purpose in coming here, perhaps I should save that explanation until your husband comes round. For now, I think I shall take a look around. He goes outside again. So I can either follow Jazz, or I can stay in the observatory with my aunt and uncle. Might as well follow Jazz. It just sounds exciting, doesn't it? It'd be nice to hang out with my aunt and uncle, but I think Jazz is probably going to find something cool. Hey, wait for me, you shout, running to catch up with your Autobot friend. Dinna ken what we're looking around for, but there's more chance of finding it if two of us look. Logical, admits Jazz. I am hoping to find the device that powers the null field. Or one of them at least, for there are probably several in the vicinity. That's what knocked out Uncle Jack's car, right? Why would anyone set up devices to do that? Jazz is clambering up a nearby rock outcropping. He seems tireless, but you are soon panting with the effort of keeping up. Someone wants to prevent you from interfering with their evil plan. Oh, is this Jazz talking? Sorry, it wasn't clear. Someone wants to prevent you from interfering with their evil plan. And I have a feeling I know who that someone is. His voice trails off, and he points to a small metal box some distance away. There, one of the null field generators. I can go no closer without risking damage to my more delicate sensory circuits. It is up to you. Do I want to throw a rock to smash the device? Or do I want to walk over and disconnect it? Can I get close enough to disconnect it? It's dangerous for Autobots. Dangerous for cars. Might just be an electromagnetic field destabilizer or something, though. Throwing a rock. Can I just walk over and disconnect it? That seems more simple. I'll just see if I can walk over and disconnect it. I don't have to worry about hitting it or explosions or whatever. If I can just walk over and pull the plug. Jazz is about to blow the device up with his photon rifle, but you have a better idea. Scrambling down to where it lies, half concealed beside a rock, you examine it more closely. Its energy scrambling rays present some danger to Jazz with his electrical senses, but they can't harm you. You see that a wire connects the device's power pack to the aerial, which is emitting the null rays. It is a simple task to pull the wire out, and once you have done this, the device is harmless. Nice! You tuck it under your arm and carry it back to show to Jazz. It is inactive now, he says, congratulating you. Why not keep it? We may even find a way to turn it against its evil master. It is now late in the afternoon, and night falls quickly in this part of the world. Jazz picks you up and puts you on his shoulder. He wants to get back to the observatory without delay. Something that struck me as odd, he murmurs on the way back, was the way your aunt wasn't surprised when she first saw me. I thought that was weird too, but I kind of skipped over it. I'm glad we're covering it. It's a bit weird. So Jazz is adding, she can't be used to robot visitors, surely? All you can suggest is that she was too worried about your uncle to think of anything else. I mean, I dismissed it as that, but it's still weird, right? It is almost dark by the time you reach the observatory. Jazz sits you down. Entering, you're delighted to see that Uncle Jack has recovered consciousness. Except for a bandage around his head, he looks none the worse for wear. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I forgot who I was talking. Who was the guy with the Scottish accent? Of course, yeah, sorry. So he'd be saying like, "Oh, sorry," he says to Jazz. "Things have been a bit odd around here recently, and when I saw you, I jumped to the conclusion that you were an enemy." That's right, it's my uncle, guy with a Scottish accent. I was trying to think. I'm up to speed now, right? "Why don't we go up to the dome?" suggests Jazz. "I'll tell you who the real enemy is." Use the scoop, Jazz. We get quite a good picture here. Hang on. Picture of my uncle with a pipe hanging out his mouth, with Jazz in the background. A spiral staircase leads up into the vast dome of the observatory. As you reach the top, the first thing you see is the telescope itself. It is vast, perhaps 15 metres long, and surrounded by the computer-operated hydraulic supports that can direct it to any specified point in the heavens. Jazz turns to your uncle. "Dr. Richards, can you tell me of any strange incidents to have occurred around here recently?" Uncle Jack takes out his pipe. "Well, the first thing was when we were observing the Faruqi cluster. It was late last night. There was a brilliant burst of red light in the sky, and the instruments all went haywire for several minutes. A similar phenomenon occurred this morning, just as I was about to set off for the airport. And as you can, the ignition on my car failed on the way back here this afternoon." "It is as I suspected," says Jazz solemnly, nodding his head. "All the evidence points to one of the deadliest Decepticons of them all. The name hangs in the air like a death knell. Starscream. Dun dun dun." With night falling outside the dome, the three of you listen attentively as Jazz tells his story. "The Transformers came originally from the planet Cybertron. One group of us, the Autobots, the group to which I belong, are peace-loving and mean no harm to the people of Earth. But the other group, the evil Decepticons, delight only in conquest and destruction. Recently, while studying our ancient records, I discovered that a space pod containing many powerful weapons was launched from Cybertron when our planet passed close to your own. This happened many millions of years ago, and the pod must have been drifting in orbit around your sun since then. Obviously, Starscream has also learned of these weapons and hopes to acquire them. If you ask Jazz for more information about Starscream, that's an option. Or I can ask him why he thinks Starscream is interested in the observatory. Yeah, let's hear about Starscream. Didn't he ken much about him? Starscream is one of the most powerful of the Decepticons, and for sheer cruelty he has no equal. He can transform himself into a supersonic fighter plane, and is armed with powerful cluster bombs and disruptive null rays. I am sure that the failure of electrical apparatus here yesterday was due to Starscream's arrival, since the equipment in the observatory, Jazz gestures at the winking banks of computer displays, is now working perfectly. He has obviously set up his null field devices pointing outwards from this location. Haha, smart thinking, Jazz. So that if the authorities get wind of what he's up to, any attack they launch will be immobilised before it gets here, says Uncle Jack. Sneaky. Just as your cart was, precisely. Now, pardon me, says Jazz. I must spend the next few minutes considering the possible ways in which Starscream may choose to act now. He bows his head, deep in thought. Jazz suddenly says, perhaps you would like to be entertained by some excellent Earth music. Loud orchestral music blares from Jazz's built-in speakers and echoes around the huge dome. Hey, yow! Turn it down, Jazz, you tell him. Uncle Jack covers his ears. Aunt Sue, doesn't he seem to be bothered by the noise? Sorry, Jazz says to you, I keep forgetting you Earth people can't tolerate the same level of noise that we Transformers can. My speakers can reach 180 decibels, you know, he remarks proudly. Just so long as we're nowhere near when they do, says your uncle, chuckling. Suddenly everyone goes so quiet. Jazz stops the music. Straining your ears, you hear the sound of an aeroplane approaching the observatory. Oh, that Starscream, mutters Jazz, listening to the drone of the aircraft's engines. But why is he coming in at subsonic speed? You think you can hear a second set of engines along with the first. Maybe he's going slowly so that a slower Decepticon can keep up, you suggest. Jazz nods slowly. Yes, it all fits. You see, I've noticed that your aunt has been behaving very strangely for an Earth person. You all look round to discover Aunt Sue holding a gun on you. Sue! Exclaims Uncle Jack. She is under the control of Bombshell, another Decepticon, says Jazz. He must have attacked the observatory this afternoon when she was alone here and implanted one of his cerebral shells into her head. He is beaming radio signals to tell her what to do. Put your weapons down, Autobot, Aunt Sue says, dully, or I will shoot Jack. Well, if you've deactivated the null field device, we did that before. If you don't have this device, sorry, I read that out the wrong way, that's why I was pausing you, I read it wrong. Okay, if you have the deactivated null field device, yes, we do. Do I have the device or no? I do. Under the control of the vile Bombshell, your aunt is almost like a sleepwalker. She does not notice when you take the null field generator from your pocket and reconnect the aerial. You direct its electricity, disrupting rays at her head, and she suddenly seems to come out of a trance. What's going on? She asks, lowering the gun. The aircraft engines are drawing nearer, and you can see. Can I have a wee sip of my juice? I like to see her being zapped there. Aye. Getting her back to normal. So, the aircraft engines are drawing nearer. Quickly, says Jazz, the null rays have blocked Bombshell's control signals. We must remove the cerebral shell. He steps close to your aunt and lifts up her hair. There is a small bump on the side of her head, just behind her ear, where Bombshell implanted his cerebro shell below the skin. Jazz adjusts his photon rifle to get a pencil-thin beam and uses it. Lovely birds singing, eh? It is cool. Keen it laldy back there. Jazz adjusts his photon rifle to get a pencil-thin beam and uses it to remove the cerebro shell. Your aunt barely feels a thing. Oh, yuck, she says, looking at the cerebro shell before handing it to you. Fancy having something like that in me head. I've been under Bombshell's control since this morning, but I couldn't tell you. Oh, it felt as if I was sleepwalking. Listen, interrupts Jazz. The sound of Starscream's engines has stopped. Starscream's gone to supersonic speed, realises Jazz. Everyone, get down. Get a picture here. As you throw yourselves to the floor, one side of the dome explodes into fragments of stone and twisted steel. Ooh, we're looking through the broken gap in the picture. Through the broken gap you can see the starry night sky. A powerful fighter plane sweeps in and drops towards the floor of the dome, transforming into the forbidding figure of Starscream. A loud rumbling in the sky follows him like a thunderclap. Because of his supersonic velocity, he got here before the sound of his jets did. That's impressive. A horrible blue shape hangs in the air above the dome and then starts to descend. It looks like a giant insect. Bombshell prefers to remain in his Insecticon form for now. He knows that it frightens you. While Bombshell keeps an eye on the four of you, Starscream marches over to his telescope and starts to swing it across the heavens. "As I'm sure you've guessed, Jazz," he says with a note of triumph in his tinny voice, "I'm looking for the weapons pod from Cybertron. Ha ha ha! There it is, floating close to the asteroid belt." He takes out a small metal sphere. It starts to bleep when he presses a stud on the side. This is a homing beacon, which we'll call the pod down to Earth. It will fall with the destructive power of a meteorite, of course, so Bombshell and I shall watch it from a safe distance. "What shall we do with the humans, Master?" says Bombshell in a creepy humming voice. "They shall be our slaves. As for Jazz, assume your normal form, Bombshell, and destroy him." If you have the Cerebro shell that was controlling your hand, it's asking me if I have that. I believe it said so because we knocked it off with that device, right? Yeah. Right. Bombshell takes little notice of you humans. All his attention is on Jazz. As he transforms into his robot form, you throw the Cerebro shell so that it lodges into the armour at the back of his neck. "Take care," Starscream warns. "The small human threw something at you." Bombshell would rather fight humans than the powerful Jazz. He turns towards you. "Humans are no problem," he snarls. "I can make them my puppets with the Cerebro shells." He activates his controlling signal. Having primed his Cerebro shells, Bombshell lurches towards you. He intends to inject his devices into your heads and turn you into his slaves. But the Cerebro shell which you threw at him is also activated now, and it starts to give off confusing messages. The effect is like feedback on a stereo system, and Bombshell starts to wave his arms wildly. Jazz adds to the Insecticon's troubles with a steady burst of high-frequency noise from his speakers. Terrified, Bombshell turns back into his insect form and scuttles away. Starscream glances up into the sky. Following his gaze, you see a tiny pinprick of light. It must be the weapons pod entering the Earth's atmosphere. Jazz starts to bring his flamethrower to bear on the two Decepticons. But before he can do so, though, Starscream unleashes a concussive blast which stuns him. "Farewell, humans!" rages Starscream as he begins to resume his aircraft form. "I must depart before the weapons pod smashes this place to rubble." His mechanical laughter is drowned out by the roar as his jets ignite. You look to Jazz, but he is still too groggy to act. Starscream's homing beacon, which is attracting the falling weapons pod straight towards it, lies on the floor beside the telescope. Ooh, so I get to decide, do I want to get the homing beacon and hurl it at Starscream, or do I want to just put it in my pocket? I know which one. Sounds the sensible option, eh? Obviously I don't want to put it in my pocket. Yeah, I'm going to throw it at Starscream. Hopefully it sticks to him and the cunt blows itself up, eh? You run across to the flashing beacon, snatch it up and throw it. Luck is with you. The beacon drops into the air intake on one of Starscream's jets and catches there. And they shouldn't have a comma there either. There's no pause. Anyway, to the overconfident Decepticon, you are too insignificant to matter, and so he fails to notice what you have done. With a thundering roar, Starscream speeds up away from the dome. The weapons pod is descending fast, and it swerves in the air to follow him. Starscream does not realise that this is because the beacon is lodged inside his jet, and he is too astonished to dodge. The heavy pod smashes through his starboard wing like a shooting star. Thick black clouds billow. It's not bellow, B-E-L-L-O-W is like shouting. The thick black clouds billowing like when they puff like smoke does, which is surely what they mean. B-I-L-L-O-W. It's a totally different word. Anyway, I mean, unless the clouds are coming out like, yell, shout, which would be bizarre and also impossible because they're in space and they wouldn't be able to make a noise. So unless they've just now done their research, I assume they meant bellowing. Again, if anybody would like me to proofread their book, just hit me up. I'm pretty easy to find. Right, yeah. Thick black clouds are, I assume, bellowing rather than yelling from Starscream's broken wing. Any normal plane would drop from the sky, but he is a master of flying and somehow manages to glide away. Jazz steps towards Bombshell, who is now recovered. It seems... Oh, no, it's Jazz that's talking, not Bombshell, sorry. Right. It seems that your evil master is running away, laughs the Autobot as he raises his flamethrower. Are you prepared to continue our battle alone, Insecticon? Bombshell's eyes sparkle with alarm. He has no wish to stay and fight Jazz on his own, so he rapidly soars aloft and speeds off behind his damaged master. Yeah, off you trot. Starscream's evil plan has been thwarted, and your uncle and aunt are safe. Though the dome was shattered when Starscream blasted his way through it, the damage can be repaired. Fortunately, the priceless telescope is not even scratched. Though it is late, your uncle and aunt insist on asking Jazz a stream of questions. About his home world, how he and the Transformers came to Earth, the strange technology they possess. Yeah. You're almost overcome with wonder at Jazz's incredible tales. When he finally leaves, it is almost dawn. After saying goodbye to your friend, you stand with your uncle and aunt, watching him drive away along the lonely mountain road. You know that he and his companions will continue the struggle against the evil Decepticons. And if, as you hope, they ever win that struggle, a small step on the way to that victory will have been won with your help. The end. And this concludes my first full playthrough. I think we might get one more playthrough out of this book, but maybe just the one, eh? Anyway, my first playthrough of Peril from the Stars, which is one of the Transformers adventure game books. I had loads of fun playing that book. I didn't know what it was. It showed up and it was just like a little book, so I had low hopes for it. It's got a sticker on the back saying it was £1 from a charity shop, and I got it for probably, I think it was £2.60, including postage off for all the books. It is a lot better than I thought it would be. I had a hoot playing this game. I really enjoyed the adventure. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. Yep, that's all I have to say about that. I have a Ko-fi link. If anybody would like to donate to my channel, that would be much appreciated. Please do, it'll be in the description. Any money donated to the channel will go to buy more books, probably nice cheap ones like this. And they can go in my gamebook sanctuary. I have a gamebook sanctuary where I get books in whatever condition they're in. I'm perfectly happy with my collection of game books. In slightly questionable quality as long as they're playable, and they will rest in my gamebook sanctuary. Happy little gamebooks. Often getting their turn in the sun. Anyway, I'm going to say toodaloo them now, because we've been here for about 45 minutes apparently. I hope to see you in another video. Bye!